Hey everyone, I just got back from calendar school, and as it turns out, we're almost halfway through the year. Of course, the first half of the year for Nintendo has left us with a lot of questions. Will Doug Bowser's first E3 live up to the precedent set by Reggie? Will all of these titles set for 2019 actually release this year? Will I ever stop crying over Reggie's retirement? Today we'll answer some of these questions, as it's time to finally hop aboard the hype train and make some E3 predictions. Wow. There is certainly a lot of anticipation for this year's E3, and with the sheer number of games Nintendo has scheduled for the upcoming months, it's very possible that we'll be drowning in new trailers and release dates very soon. And after a relatively slow start to the year that was carried just by Yoshi's Crafted World and some new Labo kits, I'm really hoping for some big news at E3, and as far as games go, I think we'll have more than enough to go around. But I am concerned that there will be little opportunities to surprise us, since we already know about so many games that are in the works. That being said, it's not out of the question that Nintendo has saved up a new game or two to reveal at E3, especially considering the fact that we've only gotten one Direct this year, and that will have been 4 months ago by the time E3 officially kicks off. So, I'd like to begin my predictions with one brand new first-party game to open this year's Direct, Mario Super Sluggers 2, set to release this fall. I know I already predicted this game to have been revealed earlier in the year, but this is my favorite Mario sports game, so please, just please Nintendo. Another interesting topic for Nintendo to address at this year's E3 is mobile games. I know that the free-to-play smartphone apps don't usually excite the crowd, and I'm sure Nintendo has realized that too, but they still have dedicated a notable amount of resources towards developing mobile games, so it seems pretty clear that the big guys at the company see mobile app development as a significant part of Nintendo's future. And with Mario Kart Tour recently opening a beta, it seems pretty likely that we'll see it at E3. My prediction is that we'll get a brief Mario Kart trailer, and if they want to try and repeat the success of Pokemon Go, I imagine they will release it at a similar time of year, this July. I've also heard that there is a mobile Dr. Mario game in the works, but it doesn't seem to be nearly as close to completion, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's no mention of it in the Direct itself. This leaves us with the big boys that we know exist, but don't really know much about. For starters, I think we'll see a new trailer for Luigi's Mansion 3 that goes into more depth about the gameplay mechanics and will probably showcase a new multiplayer mode, as that has been speculated and asked for many times. I'm pretty confident that this game will release in October, because Luigi's Mansion, Halloween, kind of a scary game, at least by Nintendo standards it is, so that would just make too much sense to ignore. But where I feel confident about the release window for Luigi's Mansion, I have absolutely no clue what the heck they're gonna do with Animal Crossing. I mean, they announced this game last September, and we've heard absolutely nothing since. A lot of people speculated that it would be released in April to pad out the spring release schedule, but that clearly didn't happen. I always felt April was too early of a prediction, but I thought we could at least see the game this summer. But now that Mario Maker is coming at the end of June, Fire Emblem is scheduled for July, and we still have yet to learn anything about Animal Crossing, it seems unlikely that the game will be out anytime soon. It seems like Nintendo has to give us some more info about the game at E3 before fans completely lose their minds, though until then it's very hard to tell how far along the game is. If I had to guess, which I guess I do because I'm including it in this video, I think we can narrow down Animal Crossing's release date to 2 possible windows. My first and most optimistic idea is that Animal Crossing development is in fact progressing nicely, and E3 will bring us a full gameplay reveal and announce the release date for this September, as that would give us enough space between the games coming this summer without distracting from the hype around Luigi's Mansion 3 and all the other games set for later in the year that we still have to discuss. Unfortunately though, I think there is also a realistic chance that Animal Crossing is delayed until 2020, as Nintendo won't want to force it into an already jam-packed end-of-year lineup to compete with its other first-party titles. This means I think we could really not see Animal Crossing show up at all at E3, because Nintendo wouldn't want to deliver disappointing news about a big game being delayed during the most exciting gaming event of the year. I am definitely hoping this isn't the case, and we actually get more Animal Crossing news than we ever imagined, and it actually releases today, and also we get a new Animal Crossing mobile game, and also the sequel is coming tomorrow, and Animal Crossing the movie is coming instead of Sonic the Hedgehog this November, but realistically that might not happen. Before we move on to the rest of the big first-party games, I'd like to mention Astral Chain and Daemon X Machina. Those look cool. Next we have a game, or I guess two games technically, that I believe will be the highlight of Nintendo's presence at E3 this year. Pokemon is a pretty big deal to Nintendo, and I imagine Pokemon Sword and Shield will be heavily featured throughout E3. I'd also expect to see these games be playable for E3 attendees, and I could see Nintendo's whole booth being themed around Pokemon, as the past few years they've designed their set around their biggest upcoming game, with a Breath of the Wild theme in 2016, Super Mario Odyssey theme in 2017, and Smash Ultimate theme in 2018. There's just one thing about this game that I'm not too sure about, and that's whether the Pokemon Company will decide to have their own Pokemon Direct before E3, as for some reason they really like to do that, or if they'll allow Nintendo to show it all themselves during the E3 Direct. Clearly, saving all the Pokemon news for E3 would increase the hype for Nintendo's presentation, and leave people feeling more satisfied with the Direct as a whole, so to me that would make a lot of sense. However, considering how little we know about the game so far, I'm sure that if the Pokemon Company does decide to have their own Direct, they could fill the whole thing with info about the new region, new Pokemon, and evolutions for the 3 starters they showed, and they'd end up with a decent-sized standalone Direct. Saying that aloud actually makes me think they will go that route, so I'll go ahead and say that we will get that Pokemon Direct the week before E3, and they'll follow it up with just a little sprinkle of news during the actual E3 Direct, just to remind us of it. And in true Pokemon fashion, these games will be set to release in November, as that is when literally all of the recent Pokemon games have released, in order to be that big holiday system seller that Nintendo wants. That leaves us with one more Nintendo game that's supposed to release this year, and that would be Link's Awakening. I know this is a remake of an older game, so it doesn't exactly qualify as a big new release, but it is still a Zelda game, and Zelda in any capacity is a big deal to me. I'm honestly unsure if this game will make an appearance at E3 because it was just revealed a few months ago, but personally I'd be happy to see even a 30-second trailer. So the optimist in me says we will get a Link's Awakening appearance. Regardless of whether they give us a release day now or wait until later in the year, I believe the game will be released in December, as it will be a nice little way for Nintendo to close out 2019 and supplement their holiday release schedule without taking too much attention away from Pokemon. So that covers every game we already know about, and one game that I think I'll just continue predicting every year until it happens. But that leaves us with one remaining question. Will I ever get over Reggie? Will there be any big surprises this year? Nintendo is no stranger to out-of-left-field, sorry for the baseball reference, surprises. So if there's any time for them to announce Super Smash Bros. Ultimate X Nintendo Labo in VR with new Funky Mode, E3 would be the time. Alright, obviously that one won't happen, but in my dream world, they would end the Direct with a big surprise reveal of a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey or Zelda Breath of the Wild. I think Odyssey would be the more likely of the two to get a sequel announced here, and honestly I'd be incredibly happy if that happens. But knowing Nintendo, I think they'll continue to sit on the Mario and Zelda series for a little while longer. I wanted to mention them here because I know sequels to both of these games are frequently talked about, though for now I'm going to try and be patient and predict that instead the Direct will simply end with Pokemon. But hey, I'm always hoping for surprises, so maybe this is the year they really pull it off. Anyway, that should just about cover all of my predictions for E3 2019, and wow, that was a lot of games to talk about. If you like this video and want to see more E3 related things in the near future, be sure to subscribe, and oh, wait, one more thing.